Hi, my name is Connors8. Thanks so much for joining me in on this Kingdom Hearts series. I hope you enjoy it. Hopefully you didn't miss me too much. Without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, we're 5. Are there any treasures I want? I can get a treasure, I guess. Make this next room a relaxing room, a nice and easy room. That one room took me 30 minutes to get through, that's insane. So, do you have any vacations? Oh, sorry. Oh, alright, have a good night, DeLogan. Thanks for stopping by. Obviously, hopefully I'll see you again soon, and I have very little doubt I will. Let me know next time you go to a game. Oh, if you took any pictures of the game Sunday, feel free to send them my way. I'd love to see them. Have a good night, and make sure you sleep well. Jessica, do you have any? Do you have any Orpinator? Excuse me. I don't even have a stop. Whatever. Jessica, do you have any? Do you have any vacations plans coming up? Wait, was this a dead end? Was there another room in here? No, it's a dead end. Interesting. Time to go shopping! Oh my gosh. You're so lucky to just like be able to plan that. I mean, not that I don't plan, I do, but I'm jealous because normally I'll have something planned. Although usually it's like, I've been on so many cruises in my life because cruises are actually pretty cheap vacation. It's not like I'm rich. Not that I'm complaining. There are plenty of people in this world who don't get vacations at all. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, no, trust me, I understand the tight money thing, but luckily I can't sympathize with the job loss thing. Lucky for me, but I'm not, sorry, that sounded, oh my god, that sounded so insensitive. I'm sorry. Um, I am really sorry. That sucks. The most I can sympathize is my wife's hours got cut into a third, of what hers are used to. So that's not the same thing as job loss, but it's certainly not pleasant. Um, but hey, focusing back on Australia, that's fucking awesome. I've only been to England once, not been able to travel a lot. You know, again, I'm not gonna say I grew up like spectacularly, but I grew up with probably a better life than most people get. Like I got to do quite a bit, and I'm very grateful for that. Um, oh, I see. I'm sorry. Well, good luck to your husband. It again, like I said last stream, if I ever ask anything too personal, feel free to just not answer. Because keep in mind, you know, I upload these to YouTube and shit too, and not like I get a lot of viewers. I don't, but um, do you mind if I ask if you work as well, or is your husband just kind of the breadwinner right now? Um, my wife works, obviously, as I just said, her hours got cut into a third. I'm really trying, and I really want to be kind of like the singular breadwinner for us, but unfortunately, I'm just not there yet. Hopefully, I'll get there someday. I would love to, and I'm definitely gonna work for it. I'm not just gonna sit around and twiddle my thumbs, saying, "Oh, hopefully it does happen." I intend to try and not just hope it happens, but make it happen. But yeah, I get it. Especially with the economy right now, times are tough. It's just not as easy as being able to just do it. Oh, that's good. Good for you. So, I mean, continued education is... Oh, no, I won't keep the zeros just in case. Continued education is obviously really awesome and good. So good for you. So I mentioned my diving earlier. Last year I got certified to scuba dive, and we'll see where the world takes me, let's say. Oh, nice. So is Court reporter, is that just a person who will like write down kind of what people say in court when there aren't like, you know, what's that word? What's the word for that? It's like got like manuscripting, is that the word? Because, you know, obviously sometimes cameras and stuff aren't allowed in court, so there'll be people to like draw pictures of what's happening and people to write down what is said and stuff like that. I can tell you, if that is what it is, I can tell you I could never do that. I wouldn't be a fast enough writer. I don't have very good hearing, and my penmanship is terrible. That's cool. So what made you interested in that? That's a very interesting. I mean, obviously those people exist, and I knew they existed, so that's not a surprise to me. But I've never met someone who like actively was like, oh, this is what I want to be, this is what I want to do, and so I'm curious. Okay, interesting. The voice to speak thing just sounds like it would interrupt the court proceedings, wouldn't it? Like, or does it? Are you not the one speaking? It just like kind of takes in what the people say. You just have to be there to kind of make sure it's hearing right, and then once you have everything collected, like you said, you later turn it into like a transcript. So if you're trained to be silent, then so you're talking and the machine is hearing you, but because you're wearing this mask, other people can't. Is that what you're saying? Am I understanding that right? So that's very fascinating, but also very weird. Wow, interesting. Damn. Oh my gosh. That's crazy. I couldn't do that. I'm too loud. I mean, again, there's a lot of reasons I couldn't do that. But good for you. That's awesome. So how long have you wanted to do that? When did you decide you wanted to do that? I assume it was more of a recent, let's call it discovery, because obviously you're going back to school for it. You didn't go straight out of high school, or maybe you've known you wanted to do it for a while and you just took a break after high school. I don't know. I don't know your life, but it sounds interesting. Oh, well, I'm sorry to hear that. That sucks. Got it. Yeah, man. That Doom, I feel like, would make that easier to a degree because you can just mute yourself, right? Damn, I'm sorry. That sucks. Whoopoo whoopoo. Yeah, I'm sure it is frustrating. I know someone, I'm gonna try and go into as little detail as possible. I know someone that is kind of like that. They have let's just say, a decent amount of things that they have to deal with on a day-to-day basis in their life, but they're very much like they want to work, but they often can't. It's very difficult for them. And so I can't personally say I know what that's like, but I can say I have experience with kind of like that situation, if you would. And yeah, I'm sorry, it's rough. But that's cool that you found and are actively working towards kind of like a middle ground solution you can have for something like that. apparently I attract my stream attacks people who are into law, as you just met to log in. They're into law, and then apparently now you are too. So apparently I attract lawyers. Oh, that's awesome. Well, that's good. Good for you. Obviously, it won't be as much of his profit, I would assume, but that's still nice that you have that flexibility. Oh, they're all asleep. Look at the sleepy boys. Oh, I need to... Yeah, no kidding. But if you're still making a profit, that's awesome. Now I get to do this again. I'm sure people love watching me edit my deck. So how do you... So you're studying right now. Do you have to, like, go to court to do anything like, what am I trying to say here? Like, do you have to actually go into court and listen to, like, random lawsuits as part of your studies to make sure you can hear properly and to, like, test how good you are at keeping up with it and stuff like that? Or no, does that just kind of come later? Because I could tell you, you know, like I was saying, I couldn't do that for a multitude of reasons, one of which, though, is hearing issues. I have hearing issues, so I know I couldn't do that, but, like, how do they test that, you know, you might be able to get good grades, and you might be able to transcript things really well, you might be able to efficiently, effectively transcript things with very good grammar, but how are they going to be sure you're going to be able to hear everything in a court case, if that makes sense? Or do they not? Do they just kind of like assume you can handle it and let you figure it out? I have 17 spots left. That's too expensive. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to cut that one there, but that's okay. Interesting. So, first thing I'm going to mention is I obviously figured out WPM is words per minute. That's pretty simple to understand. What I don't know, and maybe I'm just an idiot, but I assume this isn't common knowledge amongst, let's say, the masses. How much does the average person say a minute? Like, what is normal words per minute for an average person? And then, because courts aren't necessarily normal circumstance, what is the average words per minute someone will talk in court? Like, is this stuff you've learned? That's very interesting to me. Okay, average around 160. So all three of those that you have to be able to hear is fast. But are they fast for court? Like, what can you expect the average to be in court if you know? Okay, so yeah, they just want to make sure you're able to listen very fast, just in case. God, do you happen to know how fast you type? Like, how many words per minute you can type? Because I gotta assume you have to be able to type pretty fast. Although I know you said you can do those like voice things, but like, actually, I just thought of something else. But I'll let you answer that first before I overload you with questions. That it? Sure was.
Fire! Fire! Fire!
Oh, goodness. So wait. 365, holy shit, that's amazing. So if you can type at 115, but people are speaking at 160, how do you make up that discrepancy? Like, obviously there's gonna be breaks in sentences and stuff like that that give you time to catch up, but is there ever a time where you just have to, like, you must have great memory, like great short-term memory, holy shit. Like, I assume you're gonna have to, at times, just remember, like, the next 3 sentences because you're still typing 3 sentences ago or something like that. You sound like, I mean, granted, maybe I'm making this judgment based off assumptions and not ton of information, but it sounds like you're very smart. Not that there's anything wrong with that. That's a compliment, I promise you. Even though I said it weird, I'm very much praising that. So, oh, sorry. Oh, okay, wait. So, it's shorthand, so basically you omit certain things that are said in order to keep up with the speaking, but you still have to make sure you write enough and the important things so that you aren't missing any of the context or any of the important details of the case. Did I do a good job explaining that? Is that what you're saying? So, like, I mean, you said it's like learning a whole nother language, so it's, I'm sure, a lot more complicated than I just made it sound, but interesting nonetheless. Obviously, it makes sense. But then you bring up the mask again, and I'm glad you did, because that was the other question I mentioned is, so, with the mask, you're talking, right? That's why you have to wear, that's why you have to wear the mask, right? So that you're barely audible, but the machine or whatever can hear you and pick up what you're saying. So, but what I can't understand is, God knows that if you and I were talking face to face right now, with just this weird hypothetical, you and I suddenly know each other, we're best buddies and we're talking face to face. And if I'm trying to essentially, you're having a conversation with me and I want to log it, and in order for me to log it, I have to say everything you're saying back to me. I'm focused on what I'm saying, so at some point I'm gonna stop hearing you. Does that make sense? So how do you work around that? Oh wow, interesting. I don't have any blue flame. I don't know. That still sounds difficult because even if you're making it as simple of yourself on possible, I feel like because you kind of hear yourself when you talk, right? So I feel like no matter what, you're gonna be basically listening. You're gonna be forced to listen to yourself and the chord at the same time. And I feel like, personally, again, you just sound like you're really fucking smart. Personally, I feel like I would just lose shit. Like I wouldn't remember everything. I don't know, but I don't know how else to explain it. That's how I feel like it would happen for me. Obviously, I'm not cut out for this job, unlike someone over here. Good thing I'm not the one trying to get the job. I'll just do. Alright, so I need to get rid of some of my map cards because I have too many. So you red one. Let's get rid of that. There's all of them. I think I don't have a ton. I did. How did I do it? Here. Oh, that sounds really cool, but also, again, just I don't know. I guess seems interesting. I don't know. But I know this might sound random, but when you mentioned your continued education, I mentioned, you know, good for you. I didn't go to college. I'm not planning not to either, although maybe I should. I don't know. But I learned to dive last year, and I very much enjoy it, and I'm considering doing a kind of like continued education in diving. So like learning more about diving and potentially becoming a diving instructor, which doesn't take any college. It can all be done online, although it does start to get to college prices once you start getting kind of further up the hierarchy, let's say. So I got basic diving certification, which probably cost me about $600, $700 total, including classes and the gear that I bought, which wasn't a ton of gear. And then there's going to be, in order to become a dive master, you need to have at least 3 specialties. It's either 3 or 5. I think it's 3 specialties. And specialties, there's a lot of different things. Like, that's not difficult. The only quote-unquote difficult thing about specialties is, they'll probably be $300 to $500 each class. You just gotta pick the 3 things you want to do. It can be a range of things. It can be things... Maybe it is 5. It can be a range of... I think it is 5. I'm sorry. Pretty sure it's 5, because I already have 2 specialties, and I don't think I'm only 1 away from getting further up. So specialties can be a range of things. So they could be things like underwater welding, if that's a career path you want to pursue. They could be things like underwater photography, if you want to be an underwater photographer. They could be things like what I've done, which I've done 2 of some of the most basic ones, which is peak performance buoyancy. So it's just a class on perfecting your buoyancy underwater, so you can enjoy diving more and focus less on like making sure you're not slowly rising to the surface or sinking to the bottom, where you just finally tune your skills to stay neutrally buoyant in the water, so you're not going up or down. Basically, you go up and down with your breathing, and that's about it. So I did that, and then I did one for enriched air nitrox, which is just learning how to dive with a higher oxygen content. I want to do fish identification. I want to do solo diving as a specialty, although I don't plan to solo dive. My wife would kill me. She doesn't want me to do that. But I want to do solo diving, because if I'm ever diving and there's with diving, you have to dive with a partner unless you're specially certified to dive solo. With solo diving, the reason I want to do that is because that way, if I'm diving with a partner and God forbid the worst happens, I want to be able to know I can handle myself, so I can help my partner if it comes to it. I want to do wreck diving. I want to do deep diving. So right now, the furthest I'm supposed supposed to be allowed to dive with a regular certificate 60 feet under the water. I want to do deep diving, which is 130 feet. I want to do wreck diving. I will not do cave diving. That's how people die. My wife also would kill me if I tried doing cave diving. And so what I just listed you right there with the 2 I already have, that's 6 specialties. So 5 specialties isn't difficult. But then once you've done 5 specialties, and I think it's 50, no, I think it's 100. See, I need to do, it's been a while since I've dived. I think you have to do 50 dives and 5 specialties, but it might be 100 dives and 5 specialties. You can then become a dive master. And I heard, I haven't seen it myself, I heard the dive master course is like 10 grand. So that's where it starts getting to like college prices. So it's not the same as going to college, but you know, it's expensive. And then you can even go beyond that, and pretty much every specialty beyond that I've heard is in double digits of thousands of dollars, which I would probably only go one step beyond Dive Master. Because I think after Dive Master, it's like Dive Instructor, and if I'm going to spend 10 grand on Dive Master, if I'm going to spend 10 grand on that, I might as well try and make a career out of it, which is kind of what I want to do. So we'll see. Hopefully one day I'll get there. But that's probably far away at this point. Sorry, I missed some of what you were saying, so I'm gonna look back now and respond to that. So, I mean, there's a lot of jobs. Like if I took underwater welding, that's actually a pretty decently paying job. And as far as I know, you don't really need much besides just the underwater diving certificate and maybe a certain amount of experience. Sorry, the underwater welding certificate. However, I don't know how fruitful of an industry it is. The pay is good, but I don't know how much demand there is. And then on top of that, it is supposedly a pretty dangerous one. What I would look at, honestly, is probably just being an instructor, someone who can take people on diving trips if they want to hire me to do so, or someone who can just this is a safe room. Or someone who could just teach kids and adults, just people who want to get into diving, how to dive. From what I understand, it's not like the most amazing amount of money, but if we can find somewhere cheap enough to live, and if I can be, let's say, better than average at my craft, it'll be enough money. And I don't dislike my current job, but if I was able to do that as a job, I think I'd be very happy because I love the ocean and stuff like that. Sorry, let me go back and read some of this stuff you were saying. Listen to a podcast, just try trailing what they say and repeat everything verbatim. It's not as bad as you think. Oh, yeah, but I'm not going to do that because I'm not trying to be what you're doing. I totally missed the podcast message, so I apologize for that. I did see the message you sent about the deaf and hard of hearing job that you had. I agree with you about it being irrelevant in a lot of industries, but you are in the legal industry, although it sounds like it's not relevant for your specific position. But yeah, you did mention lawyers in there. I think trade schools are still a smart thing to do, and I didn't do that either, but I agree with you overall. College is not that amazing. Yeah, but anyways, I told my brothers I'd be playing a game with them at 6. It's now 6:05. So I'm gonna get going, but thank you so much for hopping back in. It's a pleasure talking as always. Like I said, I love having people here. I hope to see you around. And in the meantime, have a wonderful night. I know it's you're in Washington, so it would be earlier for you than me, right? Because the sun sets to the west. Yeah, so right now it's probably like what, 4 or 5 o'clock for you. But if you haven't eaten dinner yet, have a nice dinner. And there you go, 4 p.m. And have a wonderful evening and wonderful day. And again, hopefully I'll see you soon. Bye. Hi, thanks so much for joining me in my Kingdom Hearts series playthrough. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that like and subscribe button. I'd greatly appreciate it, and it'd help me out so much. If you did enjoy the video, I hope to see you around on the next one. In the meantime, don't miss me too much. Take care.